CNN just dropped some awful news about Trump's Canadian dust-up, and, well, no matter where you stand on Trump, or for that matter, where you currently stand on the planet, this one is wild. Get the popcorn, assuming it doesn't have any tariffs. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. And speaking of tariffs, if you have been paying attention to American politics, or even if you haven't, you probably know that Donald Trump has taken extraordinary steps to inflict tariffs on the closest trading partners of the United States. Furthermore, he did so over the objections of economists and fellow Republicans that warned him not only would tariffs lead to skyrocketing prices for American consumers, but that they would also have a dire effect on foreign relations. And those predictions were correct. Soybean farmers are facing a national disaster as China, the largest importer of American soybeans, hasn't bought any this year. They're now buying from Argentina, a nation where Trump is inexplicably sending bailout money. For more on that, see our other videos here on the channel. Last week, Trump ran afoul with the United States' closest trading partner and ally, Canada. It began with an ad run on Canadian television of Ronald Reagan dismissing tariffs. Trump exploded. Take a look.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports.
An ad from Ontario featuring parts of an address by former U.S. President Ronald Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
Has apparently caught the ire of President Donald Trump. In a social media post overnight, Trump called the ad fake, declaring all trade negotiations are hereby terminated, citing a response from the Reagan Foundation claiming the video misrepresents Reagan's words. It's the latest escalation in a rift with Canada amid Trump's trade strategy imposing new tariffs and import limits. Canadian backlash helped clinch an election win for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Our relationship with the United States will never again be the same as it was.
Today's stalemate with America's neighbor to the north comes as President Trump gears up for tariff talks with the U.S.'s biggest economic rival in the East.
I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China.
The two expected to meet at an economic summit in South Korea next week. Earlier this month, the president threatened an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports. American soybean farmers caught in the middle as China has completely stopped buying from the U.S.
We thought that we would be having some trade tension, but we had no idea it would be this type of trade tension and this type of chaos.
Meanwhile, Canada working to clear the air as Carney sought to negotiate with Trump during a White House visit earlier this month.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Stay tuned. Apart from Trump's rants becoming ever more incoherent and loony, which suggests declining mental faculties, again, see our other videos, they look ever more desperate. And the American people have begun to notice, both in terms of Trump's lunacy and in terms of their own rising prices. This morning, CNN offered a new analysis of how Americans feel about Trump's tariffs and how his dust-up with Canada has affected American feelings toward the country and how Canada's view of the United States has changed under Trump. In short, things are not going well. Take a look.
Has Trump's push for tariffs been successful in the minds of the American people?
No. No is the simple answer. I mean, I think that Americans have moved more against tariff than any other major Trump policy that he's been pushing during this second term. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just look at this? New tariffs on imported goods. You know, you go back to November of 2024, the majority, 52%, were in favor of it. Look at where we are now. In 2025, in the fall of 2025, 60% of Americans are opposed to Trump's tariffs. So we're talking about a 4-point margin in favor, switcheroo, now to a 20-point margin against. And of course, there was all this news coming out of the World Series, right? Canada tariffs. We're not just talking China, we're talking Canada and tariffs. And get this, we're talking about just 36%, as I look at my little footnote here on the bottom, who support new tariffs against Canada. So the bottom line is this. If I were advising President Donald John Trump when it comes to his policies, I'd say step off the tariffs, at least from a political point of view, because the bottom line is it doesn't sell with the American people. It's one of the largest shifts that we have seen during Trump's second term in office.
Yeah, I mean, the difference here might be that the economy has not greatly improved, and they're sort of seeing that this isn't going hand in hand. All right, what about how Americans feel towards our Canadian neighbors? Longtime friends, they're always considered to be the nicest people.
Yes.
What are they feeling now?
So, picking a fight with China is one thing. Picking a fight with Canada is just something totally different here. So what are you talking about? Net popularity in the United States. Well, Canada is far more popular than Donald Trump is here in the United States. Look at this. The net popularity rating of Canada is plus 49 percentage points. Look at the net popularity rating of Donald Trump here in the United States. It's minus 10. We're talking about Canada coming out nearly 60 points ahead on the net popularity rating versus Donald Trump here in the United States. When you pick on Canada as a United States president, you are picking on a country that the American people adore. They adore Canada. Canada has always been a friend to the United States, at least during our lifetimes. And when you're going after Canada, you are going against someone who is far more popular than you are with Donald Trump. Pretty much every single time among most Americans, Americans will choose Canada over Donald Trump, yet Trump has decided to pick yet another fight with somebody or some entity or some country that is more popular than he is.
Any president would love to see that number under their name.
The last president that had this type of number was George W. Bush back in the early 2000s. No president has come anywhere close to how popular Canada is right now, and Donald Trump certainly is a long, long, long away. He cannot see Canada from his house when it comes to his net popularity.
All right, let's reverse this. How do Canadians feel about the United States?
They think that Donald Trump's a big hoser. That's what they think. They hate Donald Trump. They hate everything that he's doing. Canadians who say America is an enemy or potential threat, look, in 2023, it was 7%. Look how high it's gone now. We're talking about 48%. We're talking about a nearly 48-point jump. And the Trump administration, my dear friends, has a net popularity rating in Canada of minus, get this, 58 points. So Americans love Canada, but Canadians no longer love the United States of America.
A huge jump on tariffs, which were never even that popular to begin with. That's big. But more important and more ominous is the shift in feelings Canadians have toward the United States. While Canada manages to be far more popular than Trump here stateside, Canadians are now scared of Americans. Why is that bad? Well, coupled with tariffs, it will mean less Canadians buying American products. And it will mean much less in terms of Canadian tourism in the United States. Canadians make up a major portion of the tourism economy, both in California and especially in Florida, where Canadian snowbirds often own homes or have long-term rentals. And in under a year, Trump has cost that economy billions. Again, for more on that, see our other videos here on the channel. And here's the sad part. Do you expect these numbers to have any effect on Trump at all? Maybe CNN would be better off producing a commercial with those numbers. Then Trump might notice. For now, the chaos only continues. And from this American to our upstairs neighbors in Canada, I am so sorry. Please don't judge us all by Trump's stupidity. Maybe RFK Jr. is giving him mercury for his syphilis. I don't know. And somehow, that would be a comfort. This is Occupy Democrats.